WICJ Real coming to you here on November 11th, 2024. The rooster crows. That's my rooster. All right, guys, I'm going to talk about something that's probably not that pleasant to talk about the election, about Trump, about some things that's been going around, about some of the things that Trump said and his plans here. All right, guys, I got a question for you here tonight. We're going to ask the question, and then we're going to get the answer. The question is do we have a psychological psyop being run on the Communist Democrat Party? And all the deep staters, all the forever political appointees, all these people in government, you know, the criminal actors in our government that we've seen over the last 10 years and longer. So the question is this a political psyop, or is this something really truthful and honestly being considered by Donald Trump? I've seen a clip of Donald Trump giving a speech saying that, you know, I could have locked Hillary Clinton up, and I didn't, and that wouldn't serve any purpose, and that, you know, I couldn't lock the wife of a former president up and put her in jail because, no, that wouldn't be right. Then he's talking about other criminal actors, talking about, well, we're going to revoke their security clearances, and we're going to fire them, and we're going to do all this, but we're not going to pursue them legally. And then, you know, everybody's talking about Trump pardoning Hunter Biden. So is this a political psyop? Is this something he's serious about? Is this something to just, you know, sort of get all these people second guessing this, that, and the other? Well, I got some other commentary about this and the disadvantages of this. I don't think there might be a short-term advantage for if it is a political psyop operation on these people. But in the long run, if this is true and this happens, I think it's going to be disaster.
Yesterday, the story comes out, Rob, if you got the clip with Hunter Biden pardon. And, you know, when you see, is this the clip of that?
It is. This is the president on an interview with Hugh Hewitt.
Go for it. Hugh Hewitt. Go for it.
Will you pardon Hunter Biden?
I wouldn't take it off the books. See, unlike Joe Biden, despite what they've done to me and after me so viciously, despite what, and Hunter's a bad boy. There's no question about it. He's been a bad boy. All you have to do is see the laptop from hell. But I happen to think it's very bad for the country. I think you know this, but most people don't, because most people aren't of your talent. I could have gone after Hillary. I could have gotten Hillary Clinton very easily. And when they said lock her up, whenever they said lock her, you know, they start doing 30,000 people, lock her up, lock her up. What did I do? I always said, take it easy, just relax, we're winning, take it easy, take it easy. I could have had her put in jail. And I decided I didn't want to do that. I thought it would look terrible. You have the wife of the President of the United States put in jail. I thought it would be very bad if you did that.
Rob, you can pause it. The phone is gone. So, a part of this, I mean, I wonder how Joe is watching this. Yeah. Does Joe watch this and say, well, I mean, if Kamala gets elected, Hunter's going to get, you know, pardoned anyways? Or does he watch it and say, this guy's going to pardon my... And then part of it strategically for President, your father, for him to say, we're going to pardon Hunter Biden and that's on the table, that's a big curveball for the opposition.
I hope he does. Honestly, I hope he does. I've probably seen legal lawfare unlike anybody else in the history of this country. I'm the most subpoenaed person in the history of this country because they couldn't get to my father through the executive branch. So guess what they did? They came after the guy who ran the company, right? And I had 111 subpoenas. And these aren't like baby subpoenas, right? These are subpoenas from, you know, the top senators, top congressmen. They came after us, you know, give us every single email with a comma in it. I mean, literally, they would just copy subpoenas. You'd literally have, you know, the House copying Senate, you know, subpoenas. You'd have AGs and DAs copying Senate subpoenas because they didn't want to do their own work, and just, guys, I'm talking about hundreds of millions of dollars worth of legal fees. And I'm a guy who's never gotten a speeding ticket. I'm a guy who, no problems in my life, no bad habits, no, you know, and the legal lawfare. It just, as bad as Hunter's been, and he went around the world and he ripped off everything, and he sold influences, and give me a break, right? You know, Hunter Biden's going out and selling, you know, kind of finger art to people. At the same time, we can't divulge into this country where we go after, you know, presidential kids, right? When you see Barron's room get raided by the FBI, like, stop, guys. It's gone into turmoil, and, you know, Hunter's a bad kid. There's no question about it. The kid's got real problems, right? And by the way, the drug side of it, I can't tell you how many friends I have that have fallen into that world, and you guys, you know so many as well. And, you know, that side of it breaks my heart. You know, the side of him being kind of a dirtbag in terms of, you know, peddling influence all over the place. You know, hey, you run a great company. Yeah. you have a website. Well, where's Hunter Biden's website? What's he selling?
Yeah.
Right? And we all know the answer to the question, right? I'm asking rhetorical questions at this point, but why do you need 50 shell entities? Like, what product are you? You're not selling these beautiful hats. You're not selling T-shirts. You're not a media company. You're not selling ads. What the hell are you selling? But despite that, I think we get in a very, very dangerous spot if we create a kind of a precipice where you just go after everybody's children, their wives, their family. What's going to end up actually happening in this country, it's already happened, you're just not going to have any good candidates because everybody's going to say, I'm not signing up for this crap. It's not worth it, right? So you're going to end up dealing with mediocrity, which is exactly what we're seeing with Kamala Harris. That's the type of people you're going to have running the United States of America. And, you start doing this, you allow legal lawfare to exist. I mean, look at DOJ going after Elon Musk yesterday because he goes, listen, I'm going to give a raffle, $1 million. $1 million. DOJ pops up, about 3 seconds later. It's the same DOJ that sent the number 3 person from Washington, D.C. The number 3 person of the DOJ went from Washington, D.C. into New York City, right, with the sole intent of every single day working on prosecuting Donald Trump and racking up as many felonies that they possibly can. Guys, we can't be that country. We're no better than Venezuela if we are.
So guys, just listen to the hypocrisy of Eric Trump. He sits here and he talks about all the crimes, about how bad Hunter Biden is, all the crimes, all this stuff and this and that and the other. And then, just because Hunter Biden has blood in him from the almighty royalty of Joe Biden, we can't convict him for his crimes. This is total bullshit. Right? And he says, well, when, the country, when the politics evolves to this state where the politicians go after the other politicians' kids, then we're going to evolve into one of these dictatorships, one of these, Venezuela or whatever. No, that's how you don't evolve into these kind of countries, is when you have a criminal. It don't matter who the freaking criminal is. It don't matter what kind of blood he's got in his freaking veins. He gets punished and he has to serve the crime and the penalty. The time and the penalty for the crimes that he's committed. All this is totally contradictory. He fails to mention that him and Barron are not criminals. They done nothing wrong. Of course, he should not be gone after. But to go after a Politico's son that is a criminal and has done crimes, that's perfectly fine. And it looks like, okay, Trump, are saying that President Trump is not immune from any crimes, right? Any criminal convictions, any criminal wrongdoing. Now, I agree that the President of the United States has to be immune from this lawfare because he can be bribed, blackmailed, whatever. But now, it looks like what Eric Trump is saying is we got to extend that to the whole family now. That the family can't be prosecuted for any crimes. And that seems to be what they're saying, because they're telling us that because Hunter Biden and Joe Biden's brother and wife and everybody else is connected to Joe Biden by blood or marriage, that now they can't be prosecuted either, because it seems like they're not prosecuting them. This is elitism. This is the exact wrong way we want to go in our country here. And the remedy is clear. If somebody's suspected of committing a crime, and you go out here before he's convicted and say that he's a criminal and all these things and everything else, and then he goes to court and it turns out that he isn't, then he can sue all those people that called him a criminal. That's what you do. You don't let people skate and get away with crimes because somebody went after them. There's been a way, as long as this country has been founded, and that is that if you go out here and slander somebody and then it comes up and it's not true, you have legal recourse through the law system to sue those people and get compensated for the damages. That's how you handle this. You go through the court of law. You don't let criminals ride. Now, this could be a deep state psychological play, because when you tell Joe Biden, I might pardon your son, now Joe Biden can't really come out and call Trump Hitler anymore, right? Because, I don't want to get Trump mad at me because I want him to pardon my son. And I hope that's all this is. And I hope that's what a lot of this is. But I was listening to the PBD podcast, Patrick Bet David, and he had Eric Trump on there, and Patrick Bet David asked Eric Trump about this pardoning of Hunter Biden. And Eric Trump says he's all for it because, he's been dragged under the mud by a politicized judicial system, right? He said he's been subpoenaed 111 times or something like that, 110 times, whatever it was. And he said that the kids of politicians should not be dragged into this realm of political retribution. And I agree with that 100%. The kids should not be dragged into the political retribution legally. But here's the thing. Hunter Biden did crimes. It's known. Hunter Biden is a criminal. He did and committed crimes. And when you commit crimes, that means that you're going against the society here, all of us. You know, that time he was driving down the highway at 140 miles an hour smoking crack. Well, thank God there wasn't somebody like me driving down the road and he rammed into somebody and killed him. See, that's the difference. Eric Trump didn't do a crime, but he's had the system weaponized against him to come after him because he's Trump's son. He had done no crime. Okay, yeah, you should, as a child of Donald Trump, you should not be involved in this. But Hunter Biden did crimes. So going after Hunter Biden is not political retribution. This is someone that committed crimes. This is a criminal. And it looks like the evidence is overwhelming because he's coming up for his, I guess, after the election, after Trump gets inaugurated or whatever, they're going to come up with the sentence for Hunter Biden, whatever. But it seems like he did a lot of crime. He smoked a lot of drugs. He was dealing a lot of drugs. He was hanging around a bunch of criminals. You know, when I did that back in my younger days, when I was 25 years old, when I was doing stuff like what he's doing, I got caught and I went to jail. See? And that's why justice should be equal justice. All these people, many people I know got caught doing crazy, crappy stuff like this when they were young. And they got caught and they went to jail. They went to prison. Right? And it's just not fair. It's not equal under the law to tell all those people that went and served the time, that went and paid the penalty for the crimes against, the society here, the other lawful Americans. It isn't fair to them to, well, this guy's Joe Biden's son. We can't, this is politicalization of the political system here, of the law system and all that, and we just can't let Hunter go to, serve the time, serve the punishment, the rightful punishment for his crimes because he's the president's son. See, this is elitism. This is elitism. And this is a problem. Now, I've heard things about Trump, when it came to Hillary Clinton. Trump said, well, after I was in president in 2017, yeah, I could have had Hillary locked up and I could have had her indicted for all these crimes and all this stuff, but I didn't do it because it wouldn't be the right thing to do. No, it's the exact right thing to do. This is bullcrap. And like I said, I hope this is all a bunch of political psychology to get all these people thinking, well, you know what, I've pushed the envelope so far and I've done so many crimes and so many bad things that even reached to the highest levels of treason and sedition and conspiracies and everything. When somebody's in a conspiracy with a bunch of other people to do criminal activity, that's a big sentence. When somebody gets busted being in a conspiracy, many times the government takes everything they ever had because all the stuff they have is profit from doing their illegal crimes. And see, I don't get it. That Trump talks about in his speeches, oh, well, the Democrats, they just let people come in and steal $1,000 worth of stuff, and then the next day they just let them right back out of jail. They ruin the cities by doing all this, that, and the other, by not, we don't have a law system and all this, they don't defund the police and all that. But yet here you are, not wanting to use the police that you support so highly to arrest these are the biggest criminals in our country, and you don't want to use the police and enforce the laws that you say we must have or we don't have a country. And like I said, this stinks of elitism. Go anywhere in the country where they let everybody out and don't charge people for crimes, the crime rate goes up, the recidivism rate goes up. So surely when you let these hundreds or thousands of criminals in Washington, D.C. just get away with it, do you think there's going to be some recidivism there? Well, I think there is. And like I said, I hope all this is a bunch of psychology to get all these people to stand down, and then after he gets inaugurated, then boom, they'll do like him, they'll do these people like they did to him, right? When he got in office, oh, we're your buddy, we're going to work with you and all that, and then as soon as he gets in, they all turn right against him and go the opposite way. Now, maybe Trump is telling everybody, oh yeah, we're going to forgive everything you ever did, even though you put the country in major turmoil, all the corporations, all these people. We want to get to the bottom of censorship and all this stuff and da-da-da. Well, you know what? There's a lot of victims out here from the censorship that lost everything they had. They had businesses. They had, social media channels. They had video channels. They had all this stuff. And because they were out here telling the truth about you and your cases and standing up for you and getting behind you, they lost everything they had. And now just to say, oh, we're just going to find the big tech companies and this, that, and the other. Well, these people lost everything they had. Now, here we go again, another conspiracy where the government conspired with major corporations to put truth tellers and conservatives and United States constitutionalists out of business. And they made a crap ton of money from the government that was giving them handouts for, billions of dollars, tens of billions of dollars over the last 10 years. For their part in shutting everybody up to go along with the communist program, they benefited greatly, massively from this. And again, it was a conspiracy. People that make money in an illegal conspiracy racket, they get their stuff confiscated by the government, see? It's like we're going to sit here and whine about all the people they destroyed, and then we're just going to give the people that destroyed everybody a slap on the hand, which will not deter anything. Oh, great, we're going to go through, all these years of censorship, and we're going to find out, who did the, if these corporations like YouTube, Facebook, all these places, Reddit and all these places, LinkedIn, we're going to look at all them and we're going to see if they're getting any kind of government funding. And if they are, we're going to cut them off. We're going to cut them off, and that's it. No, restoration of all the people that's been damaged and hurt and suffered financially. When a corporation censors your voice, that's a crime. It's not a civil matter. This is a criminal matter. You've been violated. When you get violated, that means you've been harmed. You've been attacked. You've been offended with a criminal act put upon you, and that's a criminal act. So I don't like the direction that this is going. Maybe I'm blowing all this up. Maybe, like I said, this is a bunch of psychological movement to make all these people get, shape up. We can't censor, we can't ban, we can't make up stories, we can't pay for, fabricated evidence. We can't go out here and be breaking the law and all that because, basically if we get caught doing anything from here out, because basically, we've been told if we're good little boys and girls, then, we'll just be able to walk away and we don't have to worry about anything. So this could be a situation to get everybody to sit down and shut up, to get everybody to mind their P's and Q's, to drop all the lawsuits, all these people now in the law system that's been going against Trump. Now they're trying to work out deals where they can, just quietly drop the charges on some, bogus bullcrap they come up with. And they want to do all this now. They want to work out a deal so we don't go to jail. See? So this could be a psychological move to get all these people, when they're coming out and they're saying, hey, we want to make a deal and we'll drop all the cases, and really what they're saying is, we'll drop all the cases if you don't prosecute us and put us in the courtroom being the one defending ourselves now. See? So they're admitting to guilt. They're admitting to guilt. I don't like America, this new America that everybody seems to want, where we don't punish crime. And we got, Donald Trump came out and he said, well, we had the Criminal Justice Reform Act, or Criminal Reform Act, or whatever. And I think when he came out with that, when he was president last time, he came out and it was basically for, somebody got caught with 14 grams of marijuana and, they got, 6 months in jail. Well, hey, let's cut that down to, a week in jail and probation or something like that. Somebody got caught with, 8 ounces of pot or something, and they might have been selling a little bit. Instead of giving a guy, 6 years, we'll just give him a year. Something like that. This makes sense. But then it seems like the lefties, after Donald Trump got out of office, it seems like the lefties just took it a lot further. Where now, if you kill somebody, well, you know what, you deserve a second chance. So, we'll give you 60 days in the pen, or maybe even 6 months in the pen, and then we just let you go and all that stuff. See, that's how we got all the criminals back out on the street. But you don't ever hear about that. Now you'll hear about Donald Trump talk about criminal justice reform and, getting that guy that had 2 ounces of weed and got 2 years in prison. You'll hear him talk about, well, he don't need to be, it's just 2 ounces of weed. He don't need to do 2 years now. We'll give him 3 months in probation, or if he's never had a conviction on anything, we'll just give him, 2 or 3 years probation or whatever. So we hear that part, but what we don't hear about is the other part where the lefties have taken this way beyond what it was ever supposed to be. And now we got Donald Trump and we got his son saying, oh, we should pardon Hunter Biden. Why? Well, because he's the son of a president, and I'm a son of a president, Eric Trump says, and I felt the weight of the judicial system on me, And I had 110 subpoenas on me, and I was going back and forth to the court, and I could have got a lot of time in jail and prison and everything I had taken. And I didn't like that. Well, you didn't do any crimes, right? And I understand that. If Hunter Biden didn't do any crimes, then yeah, I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it. I'm with you. But the fact is Hunter Biden did a lot of crimes. Hunter Biden caused a lot of misery. Hunter Biden probably strong-armed some people in some way that could have led to violence, that could have led to doing drugs. He could have been doing drugs and facilitating drugs to somebody, and who knows, they could have OD'd or something. We don't know. But the thing is he's a criminal, Eric. You're not a criminal, Eric. You should be mad about this. But Hunter Biden is a criminal. And Hunter Biden has never had to be responsible and held accountable for his actions, and that's why Hunter Biden is the person that Hunter Biden is today. So Hunter Biden needs a wake-up call. Back when I got in trouble, when I was 25 years old, and I was doing all this Hunter Biden crap, not all that, I was nowhere near extreme what Hunter Biden was doing. But when I was out here, and involved in with the wrong people and this, that, and the other, and then, I got tired of being around the shady people. That's the thing about drugs. Everybody, with drugs, they're all shady. They're all paranoid. They're all, you can't trust them. They can't trust you. Everything's just up in the air all the time. I got tired of living like that. So I got away from it. And then 6 months later, here comes the federal, the FBI and the ATF and all these people saying, hey, you know what? We caught this drug selling a bunch of weed, and he says he sold you a bunch of weed, so you've been in a conspiracy. And all the other people he told on, they also said you were buying drugs from this guy. So now we got 5 or 6 people that never seen you buy drugs from this guy saying you bought drugs from this guy. So when you go to court, now those 6 people will get up here and testify that they seen you buying drugs from this guy when they didn't. But they're willing to testify that they did because the government has offered them a good, better deal. See, if you just testify against this guy or these other people, and we can get more people ensnared in this thing, then you'll get a better, lighter sentence. And that's how it works. So, like I said, when things came around for me, I'd already hit my head on the pavement. I'd already knocked my head on the hard floor of life and realized that what I was doing wasn't cutting it. So I began to straighten up my life, and I was cleaned up my act, and I wasn't doing the drugs. And in fact, I'd already started going to church. And then I get arrested and all this stuff and the other. And I still had to do the penalty for the crime I committed. And that's what needs to happen to Hunter Biden. And I'm tired of these political games. I'm just sick of them. Donald Trump always talks about the United States Constitution, the rule of law and order, and supporting the police, and how the lefties have, made the law system non-existent, and we don't have law and order. If we don't have law and order, we don't have a country, and da-da-da, and all this stuff. And he talks all this stuff constantly. Practically every freaking rally that he does, he talks about this stuff. But then when it comes time to get down to do business, to make all this happen, well, that wouldn't be right. That wouldn't be right to make the criminal, Hillary Clinton, that tried to get me thrown in prison for the rest of my life, and my kids and everybody else. That wouldn't be right for me to put a former president's wife in prison. That's bullshit. It's total bullshit. This is elitism. The kids can't go to jail, the husband can't go to jail, the president can't go to jail, the president's wife can't go to jail, the president's brother can't go to jail, the president's cousins can't go to jail, the president's nieces and nephews can't go to jail, because it's all, it's political. No, you did the crime. There's evidence for that a crime was committed. You know damn well a crime was committed. And now we got to have law and order and United States constitutional justice. And these people, they need to be tried. If it gets to trial and the government can't prove, 100%, and the juries come back and say, well, we you haven't proven that these people are guilty, and they get let go, okay, that's fine. But if nobody has any accountability, you think the deep state's going to go away because they don't have any, there's no accountability just because they're going to let them all slide. You think they're just going to go away, really? Well, we'll fix them. We'll do this and do that, and we'll play a bunch of psychological operations, and we'll play a bunch of mind games, and we'll do this and have leverage and make deals and bribe this and, a tit for tat. I'll keep you out of jail if you do this for me and all that and all this shit. No. Because what's going to happen when you're gone, when you're out of there, and the next person comes along? You can't write all this psychological bullshit in the law. You can't have a playbook of these psychological operations to put on every damn body. See, that's why you have a law, because you have codes and statutes in the law, and everybody knows and can read exactly what the law is, what the law means, and what the punishment for the law, the crime is. There's no sections in there about psychological operations to, tell people we're going to arrest them, to make them straighten up, and then, when a certain time comes in, bingo, we pop back out and we just pick them up whenever we want to, whenever they step out of line, and this, that, and the other. No. So I don't know what's going on with this crap. I don't like it. So that's my take on that. Sorry, sack Joe Biden. I think his whole dementia thing, I think all this is nothing but an act. See, it's all psychological operations now. We get out here and we act like we're just stupid and we lost our mind and we have no cognitive ability and we got dementia. And now all the crimes against Joe Biden have left the building. So why wouldn't you get up here and put on this award-winning performance, before it was clear that, it was totally senile. The Republican Party, all these people were constantly saying, we got to impeach Joe Biden, we got to arrest Joe Biden, we got to indict Joe Biden, we got to get Joe Biden out of office because he's a criminal for the pay to play and all this stuff, right? And it kept going, harder and harder every day. And then all of a sudden, Joe Biden just gets, he was every now and again saying stupid crap, mindless crap before. And then I guess he figured, well, you know what, I'll just go full stupid. I'll just act like a full-blown dementia patient that I don't know where the hell I am, that I can't, that I fall up the stairs every chance I get, but somehow or another I can't fall down the stairs. This might tell you that it's an act, because if the guy couldn't coordinate his steps, I think it would be easier to fall down the steps than it would to be fall up the steps. But the reason you can't fall down the steps is because you might break your damn neck and you might really get hurt, so you don't want to do that. So Joe Biden started exhibiting more cognitive loss, more dementia, more loss of intelligence and brain function and all that. The more of that he exhibited, then the less we heard of the charges, and now we haven't heard anything about the charges for the last 3, 4, 5 months. No. But he's still the president. See, that's what's so stupid. Because he's too damn far gone in his brain that we can't hold him responsible for all the crime he did. I would think, okay, well, Joe Biden's got dementia. We can't hold, worst case scenario, we can't hold him, responsible for the crimes he did. Well, what about his brother? What about all these other family members that were involved? For some reason, Joe Biden gets dementia, and now all of them have dementia, and now we can't prosecute anybody. We can't go after anybody. This is bullshit. So you come up and say, he's old and feeble. He don't know where he is. He doesn't know his kids' names and all this stuff. We can't prosecute him. That would be cruel and unusual punishment. But you know what? We need him to show up next Tuesday so we can talk to Israel and have Joe Biden there to lead the meeting on how and what to do on the war with the Israel and Gaza. And then we also got to have him show up for the war summit with Ukraine and Russia. The last person you want talking about war strategies and this, that, and the other is somebody that's got dementia. See, it makes absolutely no sense. It's like the guy's totally functional with his brain power here when it's something else. But then when he's got to be in the public spotlight here in the United States, he can't think of nothing. He's just a blank slate. He's just the stupidest person you ever see. He can't even walk, and he's shaking hands with invisible people. But when he goes over to Ukraine, he's not doing that. When he talks to Israel, he's not doing that. See, it's all a show. It's all a bunch of crap. And so if Donald Trump really is running the shadow government, like all these lefties want to say, they didn't pass the border security bill because of Trump, told all these people in D.C. not to pass the bill, the Republicans. And if that's true, and Donald Trump has the power, even though it doesn't have any official power, but he has the power to not get senators to vote for something and pass a law, then maybe he's got the power to tell these people, don't go after Joe Biden. But sir, he's not really dementia. He's not really in this bad condition everybody's saying he is, because he's talking with Ukraine. He's talking to them, and he's talking to Israel, and he's talking to Palestine, and he's talking to all these people, and he seems to be finding cognitive there. But when he's on American soil, for some reason, he turns into a vegetable. Well, we got to let him go. We got to let him go. It wouldn't be right to prosecute a former president, even though they did this to him. See, and this kind of stuff is what brings validity to all these doomsday Christian people that say that Donald Trump is going to bring in, well, the New World Order is already here, as we know, but they say, oh, he's going to bring in the Antichrist and all this stuff. Well, I don't believe it. But when you start seeing the moves that's happening now, he had 900 rallies, going to rallies, Donald Trump did, telling people we got to have law and order, that we got to have police, that we got to have, equal justice and righteous justice and all this stuff for all the crimes all these people have put against our country and the American people. And now, all of a sudden, It seems like he wants to do this for the average, everyday, low-hanging fruit citizens, you know, average, everyday, low-hanging criminal out here. Yeah, we you know, the people stealing $900, yeah, they can't just be let out of jail. But if somebody or somebody related to somebody high in political office somewhere in some government department or some whatever program, government program or three-letter agency, no, we can't get these guys. See, this is it's dirty. It's dirty, man. It looks dirty. It looks dirty. We got to unify the country. Well, I don't want to unify the country by letting a bunch of criminals go. The reason why you won is because you want to get the criminals. We want to get the criminals. We are the ones that have paid a high price for the actions of all these criminals, and that's why you got voted in, and we don't want to let them go. We don't want to let the guy that stole $900 worth of stuff go. We don't want to let the guy go that, you know, raped a 15-year-old girl. We don't want to let a guy that go that came across our border and stole a bunch of crap. We don't want a bunch of criminals that were already criminals that crossed our border illegally staying here. We don't want Hillary Clinton, you know, living in a multi-million-dollar, you know, $70 million residential compound with houses all over the United States and the world. When she put crimes on our country, we don't want Hunter Biden that was out here driving around at 140 miles an hour smoking crack and breaking the law every damn where. We don't want to let them go. I don't care if it's Joe Biden. I'll tell you what, Donald Trump, if it was Eric Trump out here doing what Hunter Biden did, then I would expect him to go to jail too. Because that's how people learn. They don't learn when they get no punishment. Because all these criminals, especially the higher up you get, right, on the political spectrum and all these three-letter agencies and all this, these people have psychological, pathological tendencies going on in their brain. They're already self-elevated up higher than they should be. They're already put themselves on a pedestal like they're a little better than everybody else is and all that. And then when you let them go, do you think that's going to crack that noggin and get them back down to earth and thinking like the average guy out here on the street? Or is it going to say, yeah, I know I'm the man. They couldn't get me. No, I'm the shit. They couldn't mess with me. If they mess with me, now they got hell to pay. They know they can't get me, so they just let me go. And do you think that guy's going to feel emboldened just to keep doing more criminal activity? Probably so. But it turns out that I guess it don't matter if she won or lost, because if we let all the criminals, all the deep state people, I mean, yeah, firing these people, that's good, that's good. But we got to do more than fire them. You know, Donald Trump said he wants to take the security clearance and all this, all these people. That's good, that's good. But that's not justice. These people are criminals and they need to see justice. You know, this reminds me of Operation Paperclip. Back after World War II, when the war was over and there was a bunch of German soldiers, high-ranking German soldiers in the government and in the military and all that, and they were found guilty and they should have been executed or been in prison for the next 30, 40 years or whatever. And we said, no, you know what, we're not going to do that. We're going to just let them come here and we'll give them a brand new name, American name, and we'll put them to work in some big factory over here, making pretty damn good too. A lot of these positions were high up in manufacturing and this, that, and the other. So they got preferential treatment over some of the American people. And we're just going to forget about all your crimes and everything will be great. And that's what this reminds me of. That, oh, you're a bright person. You're really smart. You know, that guy that whatever his name was, von Baron, that came over here from Germany, that they made him the head of NASA, right? The guy that was the head of their military rocket department over there in Germany under Hitler. They didn't send him to prison. No, they said, oh, you got a great mind. We're not going to put you to death. We're not going to send you to jail. No, we're going to give you a high-paying job over here at NASA in the United States. And that's what this reminds me of. Oh, you know what? You're a deep stater, and you know, you did a lot of wrong, and you really caused Americans a lot of damage. You violated a lot of people's constitutional rights and this and that and the other, but you're really smart. You know what? If you just promise to change your ways, then we'll hook you up in another big government job somewhere, and all is forgiven. Just a bunch of crap. All right, guys. Well, that's what I got for you on this one. That's some of my concerns. I don't really like this. You know, that plan that Trump's got to build 15 new major cities. Can we get the government out of building things? Can we get the government out of building houses and building buildings and having health care and all this stuff? Let's let the free market build. I'm so tired of the government being involved in everything, you know, and you got everybody out here that's wanting to praise Donald Trump for this. It's a good idea. It's a great idea. Where the hell are we going to get money to build 15 new major cities? We don't have the money. And we don't need government, because a lot of this stuff is going to take involvement of big tech and all this. I guess that's the next move. We'll tell Facebook, we'll tell Instagram, we'll tell all these big social media companies, look, we got a big place for you in the new reset economy here. And if, you know, you promise to quit violating the American people's constitutional rights, which is a damn crime against all the people for, you know, the last 10, 15 years. But if you promise to quit doing that, then we'll hook you up with big-time government contracts in the new reset economy here, right? Because these people are going to be right in the middle of it. Those 15 new major cities are going to have a lot of video cameras. They're going to have a lot of spying apparatus. All this crap. So I don't like it, because what I'm hearing is one thing out of one side of somebody's mouth, and then out of the other side, I'm hearing something different. And I don't like what the something different is right now. So, it seems like he's starting to sort of, like I said, this could all be just psychological talk, psychological operation to get these enemies off his back and get them thinking about other things instead of, worrying about their ass being on the line. So if that day does come, they'll be caught off guard. But are we going to tell the LGBTQ, hey, you know what? Well, we want all this stuff out of the schools. Well, how about we just have a, one period, one class a week, or one class every 3 days, or something like that on this LGBTQ stuff, right? We're not going to force it down their throat 5 days a week. No, we'll just have 1 or 2 days a week where you can force it down their throat, right? See, this is the deal making. See, I don't mind making the deals. I don't mind making the deals, but I don't want to make deals with criminals. I don't want to make deals with psychologically psychopathic people. I don't want to make deals with people that are living in deranged fairy tale land. I don't want to make deals with people that have a long time period of being criminals and violating the American people's constitutional rights, and those filter down to financial crimes and everything else against a lot of people. I mean, when it comes to start deporting the people, what I seen we're going to deport 1.3 million people. Well, we got 50 million illegals here in our country. I mean, I'm sure there's way more than 1.3 million crimes that's happened in the last 20 years from the illegals coming here, assaulting and killing and raping the American people and victimizing them. Surely there's probably 10 times the 1.3 million people. I'm sure there's probably been 20, 30, 40, 50 million crimes on the American people. And I don't think it's right for the government to come in and say, well, you know what, on behalf of the American people, on behalf of the victims, on behalf of the people that got financially ruined and wrecked and murdered and raped and everything else, as long as you promise you'll be good, then we're good to go. See, that's not accountability, that's not justice, that does not support the Constitution, and that does not give retribution, that does not give restitution to the victims of the crimes. And that's the problem with all this, because there's no accountability. And we know in every city in this country, when criminals commit crimes and the police and the government doesn't hold them criminals accountable for the crimes that they're committing, and they just give them a slap on the hand, then there's a very high risk that these people are going to just keep doing the same thing. And so how many chances are you going to give them? You going to give them 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8? I mean, this is Trump has talked about at the border. All right, he's talked about the Border Patrol and ICE. Well, this city, they had this illegal immigrant come in, and he raped 2 women or whatever, and they let him go, and then he went and raped and killed some other woman, and then they let him go. And if they would have kept him and held him, and ICE could have came and got him and put him in prison or deported him, then that crime wouldn't have happened. That's right, and that's why we got to have real accountability. See, if you're just going to let everybody go, then you're no better than the states that are letting the illegal immigrants, criminals, go out here and cause havoc and victimizing the American people and letting them go. It's the same thing. Well, the problem with that is these illegal, the murder and the rape and the theft and all that, these are all violent crimes. See, all these white-collar criminals that work for the government and all this, see, they're not killing people, they're not hurting people, they're not maiming people. Well, you know what, when somebody had a video channel on YouTube 10 years ago, and they were making $20,000 a month, and they had 3 or 4 employees, and they had a family, and they had a lot of debt trying to grow their business, and then YouTube came in because the government told them we want to get rid of them, and then YouTube just cuts them off. The very next morning, you wake up to go to work on your YouTube channel, and everything's gone, and you don't really get an explanation on what happened or nothing. Then maybe that person, he can't make the $20,000 a month, and he can't pay the employees, and now he can't pay the bills and everything else. And then 6 months, the guy's sitting out here, trying to, he's already got divorced because he can't provide for his family, and now we've made, relationship problems for the husband and the wife, and, she left and took the kids, and now I got to pay her child support, and I don't have the money coming in, and I can't get a job making $20,000 a month. And so, you know what, I might as well just grab that rope over there and go out here on the tree and just hang my damn self. See, nobody wants to talk about these kind of things, right? Oh, it's just some white-collar crime. No, people got hurt, people got wrecked, people got damaged, people die. It wasn't just somebody that, went out here and deleted a post or something like that. You deleted the guy's channel, you deleted his livelihood, all that just within a second. He gets up, everything's fine, honey. 1 o'clock in the morning, then you get up at 7 o'clock in the morning to work on your channel, and oh, whoops, everything's gone. Everything's deleted. You've been banned. You send YouTube an email, you don't get a reply back for 2 days. You're sitting around going, what the hell's going on? What the hell's going on? I got to put up content. I got people working for me. I got a business around here. And then they send you back some incoherent bullshit as why they deleted you and why they got rid of you and why they deleted your last 250 videos without any warning at all. But nobody's getting hurt, right? It's called crime for a reason, because when it's a crime, you made a victim, and what happens to a victim? A victim gets taken advantage of in some form or another, and that puts them at a disadvantage, and that makes them into a slave-like individual, and that's a pretty damn high crime. You know, that's worse than kidnapping somebody. So there it is, guys. What do you think? Do you think this is a short-term political psyop against the deep state and all the operatives, criminal operatives, to get them to go in one direction until he gets inaugurated, then he's going to drop the hammer on everybody? Or do you think that this is really how he's going? We know how he went in the last election. You know, he kept talking about, dirty Hillary and all these people, calling them criminals and convicts and all this stuff. And then when he got in office, he didn't do anything about it. He ranted and railed about the censorship. It seemed like he went a little bit on the censorship, and then when he got censored, then all of a sudden he felt the pain personally, and then he came out more against it. But he didn't go after it. Now, back then he had everybody that was involved in the political scene and everybody around him, all the deep state Republicans and all this stuff. He might not have had the power to pursue anything and this and that and the other, but it looks like it's going to be different this time. So what do you guys think? Do you think this just letting everything go is a good idea? Because I don't think that's a good idea. And I think it's a better idea to show criminals. These are criminals. This is not the politicization of the Justice Department, because these people have broken laws. They've done criminal acts on Donald Trump, his family, all those people around him, his attorneys, Rudy Giuliani, and that's a lot of the American people. These people have done crimes. It's not about politics. It's about justice and law and order. So what do you think? Let me know. All right, guys, that's what I got for you on this one. Hope you guys have a great rest of the day, and we'll talk to you on the next one. God bless, and take care of yourself. You've been listening to the CJ Rail Show.